Hello students, welcome to my channel eScience. Today we are going to discuss about a new topic, periodic classification of elements. Periodic classification of elements. So in the name itself there, classification of elements. What does it mean by the classification? How the classification has taken place, where it has begun, how it has taken place. So these all things we are going to discuss today, right? So let us enter into the topic. First of all, elements, right? So till now in the history of the elements, now we are having around 118 elements we are having. Till now we are having around 118 elements. In that, around 90 elements are the naturally occurring elements, and around 20 or 30 elements they are the man-made elements. That means they prepared, human beings are prepared, scientists are prepared, right? So around in 118 elements, most of the elements are naturally occurring elements, right? And you try to understand that it is easy to remember the elements. Yes, if you try it, you can remember the elements. But is it easy to remember the properties, reactivities? No, right? So that is, we cannot remember the properties and the physical characters of the elements. It is not easy, right? So to make it easy to remember the properties and the reactivities, scientists have begun the classification of the elements, right? Suppose if you go to any shop or any medical shop, right? So there how the medicines are arranged, they arranged in a systematic manner. Why they arrange in a systematic manner, right? So to identify the medicine, where the medicine is there, they can identify easily. How they are identifying that? Why? Because they arrange in a particular manner, like in alphabetical order they arrange the medicines. In that way they can find it easily. Yes or no? Right. So in the same way, if classification has not taken place, how will you read? Suppose if any element is there, suppose sodium is there, we can write a book on the sodium, you know. That means the properties, physical properties, chemical properties, reactivities, on everything we can write a book of the sodium. And again one more book on the potassium, again one more book on any other atom. Then if you want to learn, or if you want to compare the two elements, you need to take one book and you need to take another book. Then you need to keep aside and you need to observe that. Yes or no? It is very difficult task, you know, right? So to make it easy, to understand the properties easy, right, the scientist has begun the classification, right? And this classification has taken place in the 18th century onwards, from the 18th century onwards. And first time it has started by a person called Lavoisier. Who is that? Lavoisier, right? So what he said, simply all the elements are there which are known elements at that time. He simply said that some are metals, some are non-metals. That means only two types of, depends upon the properties. He said that only metals and non-metals. Then you can say like, if metals are there, that is strong in nature. Non-metals, they are the soft in nature. Metals conduct electricity, non-metals do not conduct electricity, and they have somewhat luster. Metals have luster, non-metals do not have luster. Like this we can compare the metals and non-metals. Yes or no? Right. But this classification is very difficult, you know. Why? Because after the metals and non-metals, there are some other elements also, you know, like metalloids are there. Then there is no space for the metalloids. Yes or no? Why? Because metalloids contains the both properties, metal properties and non-metal properties. So it is very difficult to place in a particular metals or non-metals, so that it has not considered to be as a particular classification, right? Then what happened? Then again a next classification as done by a person called Daubernier. Okay. So what he said, Daubernier, what he said, that means, again Daubernier, he has taken all the known elements, whichever the elements are present over the time, he has taken all the elements and he arranged the elements. Listen carefully. He arranged that elements into a set of 3 elements. That is, a set of 3 elements he arranged like this. Suppose A, B, C. So that is one group. Suppose another group is there like X, Y, Z. Like that, he arranged the all the noun elements by increasing order of the atomic weight and by using some chemical properties. Did you get it, children? Daubernier arranged a set of three elements. He arranged a set of three elements in which the chemical properties are same and arranged in a ascending order of the atomic mass. First thing. Second thing is that he gave a condition for that. What condition he gave for that? Means the atomic mass of the first and last element in a group. The atomic mass of the sum of the atomic mass, we can say it as sum, or we can say it as average. Better, you can call it as average of the atomic mass of first and last element, that is equals to the middle element mass. Not understood? Let us take an example. Daubernier arranged a set of three elements. No, so what elements he arranged means he arranged lithium, sodium and potassium. So this is what three elements he arranged in a group. So three elements arranged, no? So that we called as Daubernier triads. Tri means three. Three elements he arranged. So we call it as Daubernier triads. Right? So what he has done? He has taken the three elements and arranged in the increasing order of atomic mass. Let us take the atomic mass of lithium 7, sodium 23 and potassium is 39. Right? What condition he said? The average mass of the first and last element. Average, how we can take average? 7 plus 39 by 2. You can get 46 by 2. Then you can get 23. 23 is the middle element mass. Yes or no? That is, he arranged the elements in such a way to get the atomic mass of the middle element by the average of the terminal elements. Right? So that is said what? Triads. Three elements he arranged. 3 means triads. Let us take one more example, like calcium, strontium, barium. Calcium, strontium, barium. Right, let us write calcium atomic mass 40 and strontium 87.5 and barium is 137. Right? Let us take the average of the first and last element. We can write like 40 plus 137 by 2. How much we will get? 177 by 2 we can get. Right? So if you cancel that, you will get 88.5. See this, which is almost nearer to the value, sir. Almost nearer. We are not saying exactly. That is, in such a way arrange the elements in the as a triad. So tri means three elements as a group. Okay, so that is what Daubernier triads. But this classification has some defects. You know, it is not approved or not accepted. Why? Because it is having some defects. What defects it is having means it is not giving the values of exact atomic masses of the middle element. First thing. Second thing is that it is not suitable for the elements which are having the very low atomic mass and very high atomic mass. It is not giving the exact values of the elements which are having the low atomic mass and high atomic mass. Okay, so that is what it is having some defects. So it has failed. So then next what happens? Next, Vermor classification has done by a person called Newland. Who is that? Newland's octaves. Newland's octaves. Oct means what, children? 8. That means, listen carefully. So Newland's, first of all, Newland's is a musical hour. First of all, you remember Newland's is a musical hour. Right? As we know, in any music, there are tones will be there, right? Musical tones will be there. Like in Indian musical tones also, there are no sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. You see this? First musical tone is resembling the last musical tone. How many letters are there totally? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th musical tone. That is first musical tone resembling 8th musical tone. Yes or no? Right? So in this way, in this manner, Newland arranged the elements in such a way. He arranged the elements, listen carefully. Newlands arranged the elements in such a way by increasing order of the atomic mass only again. As like Daubernier, Newland also arranged the elements in an increasing order of the atomic weight only. There, the first element, like he arranged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements he arranged. Then 8th element is having the similar properties to the first element. 8th element, every 8th element. Now this is first. For this 8th element is 8th number. Now this is second. No? For this 8th element will be 9. That means these both are having the same properties. Next, 10th, that is 3rd and 10th. They both are having the same properties. In this way he arranged. That is every first element resembling the properties of the every 8th element. So 8 we are saying, no? So that octaves. So that it is octaves. Right? So let us take what he has done, that lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. So at the time of the Newlands, there were no noble gases are there, right? So noble gases are not there. Fluorine, actually we know neon, that is noble gases are not there. Next, right? Sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon not there. Next, potassium, calcium. Next, if you take, there will be what? Actually, scandium, titanium, like this, right? Right. Once you see this, as we know, as our according to our knowledge, we know that lithium, sodium, potassium, these are having the same properties. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, these are also having the same properties. But when coming to boron, aluminium and scandium, scandium is different element, right? So why? Because it belongs to D block. As per our previous knowledge, we know what scandium belongs to D block, which is having the very different properties compared to these elements, right? So that is up to calcium only, up to calcium number is what? 20. That is the Newlands octaves, it is suitable for only up to 20 elements, even though at the time of the Newlands there were 56 elements. At the time of the Newlands there were 56 elements, but it is showing the properties exactly up to 20 only. After that also he arranged, but they are not having the same properties. That is, it has some limitations, it has some failures, like dissimilar elements, the elements which are having the dissimilar properties, they are also kept in a one group, right? First thing. Second thing is that irrelevant elements, like this, different properties, no? And one more thing is that two elements are placed in one place, like cobalt and nickel, they are kept in only one place. So it is not possible, right? Why? Because one element should be in one place only. It is not like one place, there should not be like two elements, right? So he arranged like that. So it is also one type of defect. That is, 56 elements are there, but not all the 56 elements are suitable in this. First thing, it is only suitable up to 20 elements. And dissimilar elements are placing in the different elements, and two elements are placing in one place. So these are the defects of the Newlands octaves. So it is said to be wrong, right? So then what happens? Then after, next, one more classification has done, that is by a person called Lothar Meyer. Who is that? Lothar Meyer. Right? So what he said, what Lothar Meyer said, that is, Lothar Meyer, till now you observe that Daubernier has done a classification as per his own vision, and Newlands has a classification by his own vision, but Lothar Meyer has done a classification by experimental values. We cannot degrade the experimental values, right? So Lothar Meyer classification has some importance, right? So there we discuss, listen it carefully. So Lothar Meyer has taken a graph by taking the atomic volume, by taking the volume of the atom, simply atomic volume, that is atomic volume and atomic mass. So till now we are discussing about mass only. In Daubernier, Newlands and Lothar Meyer, we are discussing about mass only, right? Right. So when Lothar Meyer observed the experiment on all the elements by taking the values of the atomic volume and atomic mass, he plotted a graph. Okay? So how the graph is there means it will be like this. It is not exactly, but which is similar. Right? So that is which is having some peaks in the graph, not exactly like this, that but the arrangement will be like this. That in this what he observed, that elements which are having the similar properties, they arranging in the same position. Did you get it? Elements which are having the similar chemical properties, they arranging in the similar positions of each peak. That means, so this is one peak, no, this is one peak, yes or no? This is one peak, and second, third, fourth, like this is there, no? Right. So suppose if alkali metals are there, as we know, alkali metals are having more atomic volume. So they generally occupies on the peak of the top of the peak. Sorry, they occupy the top of the peak. They occupy the position of top of the peak, right? So like lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, like this, they occupying the tops. Okay, and this position is there, no, downside. Then from the peak you are coming downside, no, this position, down position, right? So that we call as descending position. That we call as what? Descending position. At that place, alkali earth metals are there. What he observed, that alkali metals are placing on the top of the peak, and descending position. In the descending position, he observed that alkali earth metals like what? Beryllium, calcium, strontium, barium, like that. Right? And ascending position is, you know, that is which is going to upside of the peak. Ascending position, that is, right? At that place, he observed that halogens are there, like fluorine, chlorine, right? Bromine, next iodine, like that. He observed that, right? So that is, he observed that what? Elements which are having the similar properties, they occupying the similar positions on each peak, right? So at the top of the position, we can write here, on the top of the peak, who are there on the top of the peak? Yes, alkali metals are there, alkali metals on the top of the peak. Who are in the descending position? Descending means coming down, right? There what? Alkali earth metals, and who are in the ascending position? Right, halogens, right? Halogens. So like this, they Lothar Meyer arranged a classification. By this, he can say like what? He said what? Some elements having the similar properties, he can say, right? But now you try to understand, it is really easy to understand that it is really easy to remember the elements. That means if you want to remember the elements, you need to remember all the positions of the elements, right? The element, where it is placed, where it is located, that things also we need to remember, right? But practically it is very difficult. We can remember the only positions like alkali metals in the top, alkali earth metals in the descending, halogens in the ascending. This thing we can remember, but it is very difficult to remember each element position and each peak. It is very difficult, no? That is, it is having some defect to remember easily, right? So after this classification, then one more classification is there, that is Mendeleev classification, and he has done a periodic table that we will discuss in a further class.